I'm not. Okay. We're intro together was.
Oh, this serious. You're welcome on Black Hot Fire Network. Africa Maria from Kampala, Uganda, with my colleague.
INNOSSETU
Good
Kampala,
evening.
Uganda.
Yeah, we welcome you from your long week. That's of course. And having your Friday vibes. Today is a Saturday here in Uganda. So I make our body
Um, mm,
50 minutes past 7 p.m. here in Kampala, Uganda. Thank you for those who are watching us on Black Offer Network.
yeah.
Yeah, Black Offer Network Live, and those who are watching us.
Oh,
All right,
Black Hot Fire Network.
Black Offer Network,
Yeah.
YouTube.
Yeah.
And those who are watching us on Facebook, Black Offer Network Radio,
Yeah.
Twitter,
Mm,
and TikTok, Black Offer Network Live too.
mm.
Thank you so much for coming through. It's Africa Maria, like always, with my colleague. Now, today's topic is just one of a very interesting topic that I would love to discuss forever. And of course, it's who is murdering African heroes.
Mm,
Apparently, Africans have heroes, you know,
mm,
and a lot been going on. Kati no mukama we yabaddeko
mm,
kati azze kulaba tuli ku TikTok.
mm.
Okimanyi?
Nze kukyusaamu.
Songa n'endowooza wange kasoolirako.
Then. So, for those that are watching us on our TikTok channel, thank you very much. Yeah, our topic today is who is modeling African heroes. Over years, we have seen African heroes being murdered. Over years, we have seen people that have strived for Africa, people that have tried as much as possible to fight what belongs for Africans, being murdered mysteriously, being killed in very many circumstances. So the question is, who is doing this, and why are they doing this in Africa? Because we don't see a very many European heroes, European presidents being murdered, but we see that people that try to bring out the picture of Africa being murdered day every day. We all know that in Africa, if you're not a puppet if you're a leader and you're not a puppet to the Western world, of course you have no stay in world, and you have no stay in Africa. They will fight as much as they can so that they can murder you. They can plot whatever they can plot. They can make very many assassination attempts to kill you. Eh? Eh, Nebakumenyerako menyezi. Eh. Eh? Eh? Moyo. Moyo na maua. Bagambira musoro. Ah. Mani ndo. So we see we see there are very many African heroes being killed. If we talk about Patrice Lumumba, and actually whenever they kill these people, tutuuka ekiseera when we don't even see where these people were killed. However, many of them have been killed live. They have been attacked in live attacks.
Mm.
So in Africa today, if you try to oppose what these people, uh, if you try to oppose these people's agendas, the murderers, whatever, if you try to oppose their agendas, yeah. If you like you stand out and say we don't accept shit in our country, in our land, in our continent,
Mm.
they'll look for you, they look for your family, they will first of all ban you from going to those countries. Mm? Secondly, they will ban you from those countries. Secondly, those people, they will try as much as possible to make you poor,
Mm.
even when you're in your country.
Mm.
They will put a lot of spies. They will use your people to put you down.
Mm.
For those people, for the heroes we have seen in Africa being killed, they're not. Some of them, they have not been killed by the murderers,
Mm.
the so-called murderers or influencers or masters. They have been killed by the natives in Africa. Okitegeera,
Kituufu.
bantu ba bulijjo be beenyigiramu as in killing of these people. Did you Gregory shopping grocery?
I have not read that comment yet. Yeah. Thank you so much, kid. I got that grocery. Mm-hmm.
Proud on you.
Yeah, eating some corn.
Are you on TikTok? Yes, we are on TikTok. We are on TikTok, kid. Oh my god, you. Hmm?
As of TikTok.
Hello.
Not to know.
What tunaweza kuja suspend.
Ati namugambye abaabula bamubisenge byonna babuli mu. So yeah, if we are on TikTok. Anyway.
So that one.
Good night.
Nze wambadde enkoma nenkyuka n'engoma.
Ekigwa mankomawo waliyo ati.
Awo nekundi yali agenda gwawo tabani wange.
So, Keith, on TikTok, you've been asking. Anyway, so like you've been saying, apparently, a lot of African, leaders, more especially, the African heroes, have been murdered. You must have because you guys are eating. Oh, can you imagine? Yeah, we are eating together. I got mineral water. Anyway, so but kids stop commenting those crazy things because now I will laugh and of course go mulama go mulama go gwetiko that's singuliko. So anyway, Africa has had heroes. I don't know. Usually people say we have heroes are usually dead ones. So actually, that's what most people believe. that the heroes are the dead heroes. That the ones alive you can never know what they're going to turn into. I don't know whether it's because people appreciate that dead and when you're alive they don't see your goodness or something, whatever. That's not the issue today, but that's a concept that a lot of people believe in. Now, we've had a lot of Pan-African strong people in Africa who have actually been murdered. The moment you refuse to be a puppet, everyone always asks like, why is it that whoever we see trying to stand, you know, stand up for the African people, why is it that whoever we see, whichever leader tries to be so pan-Africanist, a leader who sacrifices for their country usually ends up dying or being murdered? And that's the question that apparently people keep on asking, to the point that some others say even we are so afraid that if our leaders decide to be good leaders, they may end up being killed. You know how crazy some people think. But the biggest question is, who is murdering Africa's heroes? Who is murdering Africa's heroes? We have seen of recent, actually. Let's talk about Magufuli. He has not been dead long ago. Magufuli was murdered for his transparency, for the love of Tanzania, for the love he had for Africa. Magufuli was murdered for being a true African man, a true Pan-African. Magufuli, by the way, he of course he had withdrawn all the power from the hands of the colonizers, and he said, like they used to say, Africa is for the Africans, the Tanzania is for the Tanzanians. Come on.
Tanzanians for the Tanzanians. You continue.
The Tanzania is for the Tanzanians. So Magufuli, as a president, there is a lot he changed when he came into power. That all the minerals that were being, of course, harvested in Tanzania belonged to Tanzania as a country. Magufuli said, we, the Tanzania people, are the ones who have a right to decide at what price we are selling our minerals and to which country are we willing to sell our minerals to. And you know, the moment you touch the mineral part, you have touched the wounds of those people. And now Magufuli struck them so hard. Magufuli struck so hard to the point that he became a threat to these people. Keith says that exactly, Maria. Yes, Keith, mixed up, blah, whole fire. Thank you for coming on our TikTok. We hope you're doing good. We have had our groceries. We are Gaya. Thank you so much. We saw the message and I was like, "Ooh, this must be Keith." One, yeah, the way that we see so.
So, and whenever these people set up something, like they put up something like the recent COVID-19, because they always set up their goals in a certain period of time, and they set up people that are going to run these programs for them.
So my comment here.
Yes, Kit says they look down my last comment. It's the CIA and Mossad. Yeah.
Okay. Of course, you're saying that it's the CIA and Mossad that murders Africa's heroes. And Evan, thank you so much for coming through. Thank you so much for joining our live here on Black Hawkeye Network, TikTok. Usually, yeah, I do agree with you, and I know very well that this is gonna be as we are talking about this topic, it's a little bit sensitive, but yeah, we know at least TikTok at a certain level has given people some privilege, though at times it has also learned that that tendency of blocking accounts that are talking raw facts or raw bitter facts. So anyway, African leaders, you know, first of all, it is always their mission to make sure they control all African leaders. And any time that Africa, any even if it means so let me phrase it this way. Most of African leaders have terms in power, and every time they lose means they are losing big. You understand? Every time they lose means they are losing big. That's why they can never be patient enough. Even if they don't want a leader, they can never be patient enough to wait for the period of this leader to end so that probably they can reinstate whoever they find fit. We have seen some good leaders actually. It is the same story that goes back in history with Thomas Sankara, how he was murdered. The Thomas Sankara of Burkina Faso, who was also murdered by one of his closest friend, but on command of the CIA and whatever, like Keith says. But at that time, for us, we shall focus on saying the colonial masters, probably those who want to have Africa in their hands. Um, Being an African leader isn't something that as simple as people, see it. Because being an African leader is a little bit different with other leaders in the world. First of all, you have to agree that you're going to work for the Westerns and Americans, for the Europeans and Americans, and now the Chinese are coming in the picture, and we're having the Russians coming in the picture. If you're going to be an African leader, you have to be ready to sell out your people. And the moment you say you're not going to sell out your people, that's going to be the end of you. Definitely. We've seen a lot of good people. We've seen good men. Good men in Africa don't last long. Good leaders in Africa don't last long in power. Good leaders in Africa they don't give them time to step down. Good leaders in Africa they don't go for terms because apparently they designed a system in Africa that is supposed to drain every breath in Africa. And anytime they lose this, they make sure they sue, don't I can't be the way. Exactly, Maria. He was so mom.
He was unalived because of saying Africa belongs to Africa. Then he says, ha ha ha. Sure, don't marry her because Africa is rich, of course. Yeah.
So
Mm.
so, so I'm using Magufuli because he's one of the best recent examples. We usually talk about Thomas Sankara, but we were not, we were not yet born during his days, so we hear about him. So and others that have come along. I'm using Magufuli because he's the recent one, and I know apparently most of people knew about him. Magufuli himself wasn't prominent in the minds and the eyes of a lot of African people because his publicity did not reach the peak or the prime. Basically because usually, like we always say, whenever we have someone doing positivity, it is very hard for the mainstream to recognize such a person. Most of the people got to learn about Magufuli when he died. Apparently, when he died, the people started posting about him and the good things he's been doing. Yes, Tanzania has so much tried to, of course, let the people know about Magufuli and what he's doing down in Africa. But a lot. Magufuli himself, by the way, even before that, I remember some time back, we were talking about Magufuli even before his death. One day coming up with that chief, Tanzania movie Gambo. We were talking about Magufuli of recent, and I remember even Keith says that he should be very careful because he might even end up being killed by, of course, the CIA. He may end up being murdered. And by the way, as we spoke that in Black Ocean Network, like many times, whenever we spoke about Magufuli and achievements and what he's doing for Tanzania, it did not take long when we woke up to the news that Magufuli, the president of Tanzania, had passed on that time. But we saw this coming because whoever tries to stand up for Africa does not live long. It is not that they fall sick, but this should be a sign to show apparently everyone who doesn't know how this matrix works that there is nothing good they want Africans to achieve. They don't want Africans to have peace. They don't want you to be able to have access to whatever minerals, the richness you have. They have to make sure they shatter every hope because Magufuli was not only a hope for Tanzania, but his hope extended to the entire East Africa and entire world, that everyone was looking at him as an example, that everyone started challenging their own leaders to the point that a lot of Africans started challenging everyone, like, why are you not doing this? This is being done in Tanzania. What is going on? For the first time, we see a lot of Kenyans coming out to try and let Kenyatta at that time know that a lot is going on in Tanzania. What's up with Kenya? We saw the same thing going up in Uganda where everyone was trying to refer to Magufuli, like every person was so desperate, more especially in East Africa. All people, the citizens of the East African region were demanding. They were so desperate. They needed to see they needed to feel the touch Tanzania was feeling during the days of Magufuli. Now, this is a threat, and Magufuli was a threat to their power. Magufuli, people did not notice this. People did not notice this man, but the pressure was so high. The African leaders at that time, more especially the leaders in East Africa, felt the pressure. Apparently, everyone was wanting their leaders to be like Magufuli. Everyone was like, why can't you be just like, did you see what he's doing? What is stopping you from doing what he's doing? We saw him challenge the entire African continent when COVID-19 struck. He said that don't buy that bullshit, don't bring that bullshit. I'm not locking, no, I'm not closing Tanzania. People are going to have their football, people are going to play football, they're going to have their competitions, people are going to move, and we did not see Tanzanians die. To the point that Magufuli says, my border is open. If you want to come in Tanzania, fine. If you want to go out of Tanzania, fine. The borders are open. That's one thing. I'm not locking my people in lockdown because I do not believe that's true. I've not seen Tanzanians dying of COVID-19. I've not seen whatever the world is saying. So I am the president of Tanzania and I decide. So apparently, the World Health Organization, UNICEF, whatever, all those organizations got on top of Tanzania and were on Tanzania. Everything, all the time, the news. Tanzania refuses to close, Tanzania becomes a threat to East Africa. Tanzania people, like they wanted a lot of countries to close their borders for Tanzanians, not to allow Tanzanians to enter their countries. But funny enough, we do not see Tanzanians dying of COVID-19. Now, this was a challenge that Magufuli laid to the World Health Organization, and of course, the Bill Gates Foundation and the Bill Gates himself, and the pharmaceutical companies that, of course, designed all this thing. Magufuli laid an example, and Magufuli, on top of that, was one of the presidents in Africa who went ahead to patronize the Madagascar's oh shit.
Sure.
Yeah.
Actually, that light out would have been off. But then
so our power is gone, guys.
okiraba nti wosasula omusolo noddamu nosasula bakuwa units nyingi. Kati noddamu n'ogula essaawa zino n'ogula amasannyalaze bakuwa units ntono. Kati singa olina ngeri gyonkompisinga ng'osasudde amasannyalaze g'eri ewaka n'osasula omusolo nomala noddamu nosasula ne bakuwa units ntono. You have no way of competing.
Yeah, our power is gone. Our power is gone. Welcome to Museveni, Uganda. Shit is crazy. Oh my God. Let me try. Oh, are you sure? Really?
Yeah.
Are you joking?
Oh no. Now the lights went out. Damn. Welcome.
The show was getting good too. I know. I was here. Oh man, yeah. Right now.
It may even take some time.
Yeah.
What
should we do now? At times it's crazy. Yeah. Now this time, man, you guys will have to listen to all this in the back. Anyway, me, but then simple.
Good.
Yeah, the lights are bad.
You guys can leave and come back to do the show in the dark time. Lights are back. I think now the lights are back.
How are they again?
Yeah.
Check out one is going back there. She went. So
They have got an
what did I
come on, do it.
get?
So you see that even before COVID, we see Magufuli as someone who had vision for Africa. We had, like in Tanzania, they had that big parliament. You see that he reduced the number of like MPs. When he had just settled into the chair of the presidency in Tanzania, we saw him on streets.
Meeting with the people.
Yeah, interacting with the people.
Stepping down his, his convoy. At times, he didn't even allow his convoys to move with him. He would go down, meet his. He would step down, meet his people. Usually, he was known for that. At times, whenever he had occasions, you would see a lot of poor people coming in, and he would give them the space. We are not taking no care. We're here. Don't run away.
Jibjaba, thank you for coming through. He said he was a Pan-African, and he said we have to get rid of corruption in Africa. True. Yeah.
I remember. I remember there is a time, more especially, you remember when Madagascar said that they had, of course, developed COVID-19 medicine. So apparently, very many African leaders did not support. But Magufuli said, rather than me patronize them, businesses of other people, I'm gonna buy, these. First of all, he had a lot of COVID-19 medicines, vaccines, hand wash or sanitizers. I think it was basically sanitizers in the vaccine. Yeah, most of the medicines were herbal. So he's the one who was like, he's the first president who decided to patronize this guy. For him, he said he's not supporting any pharmaceutical because he said, first of all, I believe you created this to, of course, harvest money from African leaders and African governments. So he refused to support. And this was a very huge blow because they did not expect. A lot of idiots went into debts. They started getting loans, and that's why some of them have been still stuck. They started signing, treaties. They started, and there is usually and with that, what they used to show like the world was like we are giving aid. We are giving aid that is coming with the COVID-19 vaccination. Though a lot of people did embrace this, especially those ones who were scared to be pinpointed, they just agreed and they bought that Magufuli himself. Why is our life ending?
Was it ended? No, someone wanted to join. Maybe these Indians, these fake Indians who always have nothing what to do.
Because Indians are always sleeping in their bed all the time.
And
So
maybe these guys eat popcorn. They're always men. You find like 6 men on one bed.
maybe.
Omusajja ajja kuyomba tulimu mu lulimi lwaffe.
Okay, so no.
Wow, like he talked about corruption. Magufuli is one of the presidents. I think maybe even the units that we have in Uganda that are fighting corruption, they just copied Magufuli. Magufuli by in the little time he spent in power, he worked as an example. We see him that Magufuli made it his mission to the civil service of corruption. Like he made like a
You
unit.
made that page.
Yeah, that page in the civil service of corruption because within a few years or in his time of office, his sleepy town of Chato with a population of over, of course, 28,000 was transformed by election of regional hospital and an airport and industrial facilities. This is not seen in African countries within the small time he stayed in power. This shows that Magufuli was he was neutral or he wasn't involved in the influence of the Western powers. Because these people, they will tell you that, of course, you have to develop this town, you have to develop this region, leave the others to stay the way they are. They dictate for a country, the Western powers. They dictate for if you're president, they will dictate for you. They tell you, you know what? You know these people, they are the genesis of corruption in Africa. Of course, they will tell you, for example, in Uganda, they will tell you develop like central Uganda. The money that would have developed the other parts, you're going to give it to you.
Yeah.
So you will base all the president now will base all the foundations, all the developments in one region, and of course these people will go in the other regions to steal. They always want to see Africans poor,
and you
Africans
see some
suffering.
other leaders who pretended that they liked you. Yet they were up against you. And I know maybe they were being sent. Maybe they were being sent. But we know a lot of leaders who did not like Magufuli. But because he had put them on pressure, he had laid a challenge. he had laid a challenge and had made it hard for them to meet. The standards Magufuli had, raised were so hard. Within a shortest time, we saw him change the entire Tanzania. Jambo za walioza wane wagulu. And apparently, we are seeing Mr. Black on Fire live on YouTube.
Bam!
Oh, too funny.
What's going on, you goopy bastards? How y'all doing?
We are from eating groceries.
Yes. Eating. Seto's been eating lots of popcorn.
We are from eating groceries.
All right. So we're talking about John McAfee. I know you guys are coming on that. So, John McAfee showed what Africa could be when a actual individual snuck through, because he wasn't supposed to sneak through and get power. So the whole African world loved him. He wasn't just loved in Tanzania, the whole African world, from America to Colombia to Jamaica. The whole African world loved Magafuli because he was a real leader who wasn't a puppet. So I said that. Is where I said, hey, they're gonna try to kill him. He's not a goopy Museveni puppet, not a goopy Kagame. He's the real deal, and people knew he was the real thing. And like Maria said, I was putting pressure on all the puppets. They wasn't dead too. Don't think that Uhuru and Museveni and Kagame, they want him dead. A lot of them didn't speak to him. They wanted him dead because he was an issue to their power. Because the other African people were like, whoa, Magafuli said we don't got to get loans so we can develop. And he told you anybody taking these stupid Chinese loans must be drunk. He said you must be drunk taking any stupid ass loans. And how dare you let anybody come in your country? How dare you let anybody come in your country and do the work that your people are supposed to be doing? Why are Chinese people building your roads? Why are other people doing your work? What are you talking about? That's your job. So I heard him when he said saying that. I said, uh-oh, coming to kill his ass. Yeah. When he refused, I'm not going to say too much on YouTube. He refused, but what Museveni did. And you guys are running around Uganda. I'm sure Museveni knew it was a lie, but he's a damn puppet. Everybody was in Uganda with this. Hey, and your gloves, hey. And your mom was like, Santo, did you get the vaccine, nigga? Santo, did you get your you know what? So everybody in Uganda's running around scared as hell because the leader's a fucking moron. So everybody running around Uganda scared as hell with this shit on. When the next country, southeast, he was like, nah, we're not doing none of that shit. So you heard all the other countries come attacking them. You had Rwanda shut down, all fucked. Everybody's business was all fucked up, shut down. People at home because the IMF, owned by the same people. Guess you already know who owns the IMF. They told people to do it. So we had one guy in Belarus said, they came to him and said, we need you to shut down the country. We're going to give you some kind of $40 million. He said, you're not giving me shit. I'm not shutting down shit. But him being white, they were going to come kill him like they were Magafuli. Because anything that happens in Africa, it's a domino effect. They can lose all of Africa if they don't get one person to toe the line. And he was visual out there. Everybody knew it around the world. And hey, why does Tanzania ain't shutting down? Everybody's out there partying in Tanzania. Everybody out there in Zanzibar getting down. And everybody's everybody having a good time. But see, you're never gonna see a funeral like this for any African leader. Let me share my screen. You're not gonna share it. You're not gonna have a funeral like this for no fucking Museveni or no Kagame. You're like, oh, my people love me. Your people hate your ass, Kagame. They hate your fucking ass. They're not allowed to say nothing about you. They hate you, nigga. So there was no. I went down. So there was no outpouring of love. You never know outpouring. When Museveni dies, I'm like, oh, good, he dead. Whatever. Kagame dies, oh, good, he dead. Whatever. You guys, the phone is acting up.
No.
Oh.
I just want to change the camera.
Oh. So let me do this real quick. All right, guys. Let me know when you guys can see my screen.
Yes, we do.
Okay. So you see, this is the outpouring of love that Museveni's never going to get. None of these niggas in Africa are going to get none of this. And this was global. This wasn't just Tanzania people cry. This is global and all throughout Africa and in the diaspora. This is global. Because you don't have a leader like this nowhere in that. See, this is how African leadership's supposed to be. You're not supposed to be nobody's puppet. You're supposed to do shit that benefits your people, not what white people tell you to do.
As the military carriage bearing his remains drove into the Jamhuri Stadium in Dodoma town, thousands of mourners ran alongside it as they chanted words in praise of former Tanzanian President Dr. John Pombe Magufuli, who passed away on 17th March after a long battle with a heart condition. His remains were then carried to the stand ahead
now they got
the commencement of the send-off ceremony.
Hold on. Pause that.
His remains were then carried to the stand ahead of the commencement.
Damn, why they go so fast?
Carried to the stand ahead of the.
Now they got their puppet in. This bitch here. She was the puppet. They put her in behind them. She's now giving out, talking about getting loans from China and doing everything he was against. She's reversed because he's her puppet. She was the puppet that they put behind his ass. That's how you know they got rid of him. There's no doubt that they did you know what. No heart condition. No heart condition. They you know what to him. Unalived his ass. And they had their puppet wait. Now, about everything she did is New World Order Rothschild shit. Bringing in Tony Blair, that wicked ass, no good former British Prime Minister. We need them to come help us. Help you do what, lady? Still, so now she's been kicking people out their ancestral lands and giving land to British and fucking Arabs. Africa doesn't need investment. Told you that. That's the scam. You got everything everybody needs. Either you want it or you don't. You'll come and build a factory and then you'll teach my people. She's the puppet put in there after so she can sell the country off. Like all African nations have been sold off and sold out.
The commencement of the send-off ceremony. His widow Janet Magufuli broke down as she viewed the body of her late husband. Songs composed in his honor by various artists were performed. The event was attended by 9 presidents and
the 9 puppets
and other heads of delegations. Cumulatively, 17 countries were represented. The leaders celebrating a man they said put forward the African.
Look, everybody got the mask, but all the goopy niggas from the other countries all got masks on. See that? Where'd you see that?
Yeah.
Nobody Tanzania got that shit on. But President Kenyatta of fucking Kenya, this goopy nigga, because the IMF told him to do it, he got this goopy mask on. This another goopy nigga from another country, and this goopy nigga here. See, the goopy niggas from other countries all got the mask on. But as you see, the Tanzanians don't got none of that shit on. None of them got none of that shit on out in the crowd. But all these brain dead niggas are told what to do. All these puppet ass niggas all got it on. Because Africa's been captured. You never got any freedom. Never got any independence. Africa's captured, and these goopy niggas have been put in power to make sure the wealth of Africa goes back to their white masters. Okay? That's why African people are poor. See, that's called a conundrum. How can you still the richest continent and the Africans be the poorest people? That's a conundrum. It don't make any sense. Because you got niggas like this Jomo, this Uhuru Kenyatta nigga here. This puppet ass nigga whose family is worth was $18 billion. They always make their puppets rich. This puppet's family worth like $18 billion or something. 6 point, is it 8 billion? I think it's like 8 billion. This puppet ass nigga's family's worth. But his daddy was poor. And he never fought with no Mao. Same kind of bullshit story they gave with Nelson Mandela. His daddy was a traitor to the people that fought the Europeans. But they made his daddy a hero. His daddy Jomo was a traitor to the freedom fighters of Kenya. But the white man owns the media. They gave you a narrative that Jomo was part of Mao fighting. He fought against the Mao. Just like when you go back and research Kofi Adada Dudu's family in Ghana. His family fought against Kwame Nkrumah and had the coup with the CIA backed it against Kwame and got him out of there. And now this nigga's the president of Ghana with his families of traitors to the Ghanaian people. See, that's what you got. You got bootlicks, handkerchief head, cowardly ass niggas as the president. These are just puppets. They do what they're told to do. That's why the 70 stupid ass, we must wear the mask. Hey, the mask, the WHO said wear the mask. It's time to wear the mask. We do what we told to wear the mask. I think it was in the Bible. It's in the Bible. This is the most moronic nigga. They couldn't get a D. This goddamn, how ideal he's the head of a country. This nigga couldn't even be fucking manager of a KFC nowhere. He said, we've got the Bible and we got to put the Bible. Right.
The continent and championed for its empowerment.
Ilinyamaza sauti ya mtawala aliyefuata nyayo.
Where's this nigga from? He's from Malawi. Is this the Malawian president?
Na watangulizi wake.
You can tell all the foreigners that's there that got the mask on. All these goofy niggas from their country that all got the mask on. You can see, you see Museveni didn't show up because Magufuli made it no doubt he didn't like his ass. He didn't like Kagame or fucking Museveni. He made no doubts about it that they're corrupt puppets. See, you can tell these are all foreign niggas with these masks on. You can tell who the Tanzanians and shit. They got no mask on. See, you can see all the people from Tanzania ain't got no mask on. You see all these other niggas. You see all these people from other countries. These are all the dignitaries from other countries. These brain dead niggas here. These are the brain dead niggas that run their countries into the ground because the white man tell them to do shit. When you can tell people from Tanzania, even though you want people, you clearly see you want people. But we can tell see the ones from Tanzania, we ain't got no fucking mask on. Wearing that shit.
True.
Kutetea maslahi bora na makuu ya raia wa Tanzania. The family of nations of Africa are today more.
It's the bootleg head president of South Africa, Ramaphosa.
Yeah, Ramaphosa.
Yeah, Ramaphosa. I'm surprised this nigga ain't got his mask on while he reading. This puppet ass nigga here. This nigga, if you look in the dictionary and pull up the word puppet, this nigga's face gonna be there. I'm a puppet. Here I am.
Mourning the passing of their own and esteemed leader of his people.
Stand back. You can't tell you'll fight. I'm talking about these goofy tribes. You can't tell you are the same people. You can't look at the audience and know you're the same fucking people with these fake borders that were put there. You can't. You're that backward and ignorant. You don't know you're the same motherfucking people. Shit's crazy.
Yeah, and he's reading, but there are people.
Champion
Say
of
it
the
again, Maria.
cause
Let me try to pause
of
this.
The way he's reading, like saying who has they have lost their, they have is using like in past, but like Magufuli isn't part of him or other parts of Africa.
Kenya's President Uhuru Kenyatta, who joined the mourners,
Who can y'all these are all foreign niggas with these masks on, can't breathe. They don't know these masks are making them sick because they're morons. This is how badly Africa's been fucking made. These are presidents and they're absolute fucking morons. They don't know when a mask causes more damage, but they're morons. And they're somebody's president. And the people don't know that people are morons. Who's this?
vowed to work with the new president in ensuring Magufuli's vision came to pass. And amid talks of closer relations between President Kenyatta and the late Magufuli, President Kenyatta appeared to extend an olive branch.
See, he extended the olive branch because he was warned with Kenyatta. I mean, Kenyatta was warning him because he wasn't following the IMF rules about putting masks, and he said and he called Kenyatta corrupt, and he is. called Kenyatta corrupt, he called Kagame corrupt, he called Museveni corrupt. They're all corrupt puppets. And now they got their own corrupt puppet now, her, and this broad here, this phony bitch here, this fucking puppet ass broad.
pekee ningependa nikuachie
Kipindi kichini.
siku ya leo ni ile neno Mungu
I know you're impressed by my Swahili, Maria. Stop trying to pretend.
alipatia Joshua wakati Musa aliaga na Joshua.
I was waiting for who was
He's talking about Bible scriptures.
Oh, is he? I thought he was up there talking about Kuma.
No. He was talking about the story of Musa,
Okay.
Moses.
Moses.
Like Magufuli John who was supposed to
kama
be.
na uwezo
What's he saying, Maria? What about Moses?
He's talking about the story of Moses, that the way Jesus gave Moses to the people, Moses to deliver the Israelites, blah blah. So I guess it's trying to mean like Magufuli was the one
Like a
supposed
Moses.
to go.
Ain't it funny? Because in real life, they didn't get along. Because Magufuli wasn't corrupt. And he called all these Eastern puppets corrupt and all puppets. And they all came at them because the IMF told them to all go after Magufuli. How's Tanzania? We're going to lock up. Tanzania opened its borders. Uganda, Rwanda, and Kenya. Oh, we got to shut our borders. How dare Magufuli don't do the COVID-19 rules? Because the white man told us to do it. How dare he go against the white man? How dare this nigga? How dare he be an African man and think for himself and know what's going on? How dare him have an African mind?
Sure.
kama kujaza viatu vya Musa, naye Mwenyezi Mungu akamwambia, uwe hodari, uwe na moyo wa ushujaa, usiogope wala
People say, why nothing
usifadhaike.
happens in Africa? Because all your leaders are corrupt and paid for. When you go to Africa, these are all this nigga's bought and paid for. Whole family's corrupt. He's what you call a dynasty, like a Kagame set up a dynasty. Museveni's trying to set up a dynasty. They're not gonna let that ignorant nigga set no dynasty up in Uganda. Bobby Wine's the next puppet. Wait. He putting Bobby Wine up in there. Bobby Wine gonna be president of Uganda. You can bet your ass on that. Ugandans are not a bunch of Marias that's smart enough to understand they only grooming the next puppet. He will be. And now the Ugandans might wake up after he gets in there and fucks up everything. Say, damn, he's just as bad as Museveni. Yeah, stupid. Yeah, he's supposed to be. But they hope it's going to take you a couple more years, maybe 10 or 20 more years to figure it out. So, we had this bad leader for like 50 years. I'm named Museveni. And the kids ain't going to know you're talking about. They're young. We don't know this Museveni talking about. All we know is this fucked up Bobby Wine guy. How you got to put him in power? How's he been here for 20 years? Well, we thought he was good. And, we still tribal. Like that lady came after me in Uganda. I'm telling that this lady, he's a puppet. He's with Bill Gates. Bill Gates is part of the Rockefellers and the Rothschilds. These are facts. You're not going to, she called me a Somali bandit or some shit. You're not a bandit. You're a Nihilistic. What she called me? She called me. I said, lady, I'm just trying to tell you that Bobby Wine's a puppet. The people he hang with, you should tell who's funding him. That's why Museveni's not been allowed to kill him yet, because they'll get rid of Museveni. You think they're going to let him run around? Museveni's wicked. He could have been killed. Why didn't he kill him? Because he's already been told, you kill him, nigga, we're getting rid of you. That's why. He's been told. He's been
Yeah.
Yeah, right. But they got Bobby Wine running around, going to jail, and he's a threat to Museveni's power. They would have easily killed him and threw him in a ditch, and nothing would have happened. He's backed by the people that run the planet. They've already told Museveni, you can dust him up, whatever you're going to do. But if he ever finds him dead, your presidency is over. You out of there. He's already been told this. He's already been told this. Because any other death spot would have got rid of Bobby Wine. They would have killed him, got rid of him, nothing happened. Museveni's already been given the goddamn right. If you kill him, you're done. You're out of there. We put you in there, and we'll easily take you out. He knows that. Yeah, we'll let you pretend to be a president. That's what you are, pretend president. But as soon as you fuck around and fuck up our next puppet, you and your son.
Would you fuck around the next puppet?
As soon as you fuck up the next puppet, you and your whole family. And you know what to do. When you fuck up our next puppet, you and your whole family. You and your whole family's up out of there.
That's why he's untouchable. Don't be doing a lot of crazy shit. And the police don't look for him anymore.
And
Exactly.
they take him to his home.
When he wants to cause, chaos, they just carry him.
Up to his
They
home.
take him back home. They lock him.
Exactly. When they take him back home. Exactly.
They take him home and lock him at home.
Yeah, exactly. They'll take him back home. They'll try to lock him for a little bit. Oh, he's out of arrest. Because Museveni's already been told. Listen here, moron. We put you in power after Idi Amin. And we always say, you got Museveni talking stupid. Talking about some damn Indians come back to Uganda. They've been already back because you got in, dummy. What do you mean come back? Idi Amin got rid of the Indians and it hurt their economy. You like saying African that the Ugandan Africans are stupid. Ugandan Africans can't do the work. We need the Indians come back and have businesses and empower these dumb niggas. Because Museveni's not Ugandan.
The Africans to do that.
Exactly. Because here's the dirty secret, Uganda. You waking up.
What have the Indians done?
Nothing. But stole. Have you as the slaves. That's what they were. They had you the slaves when the British brought them in. The British brought them everywhere in Africa. Kenya, Uganda, Zimbabwe, Ghana. Well, they all over throughout Africa. That's the buffer race to be above black people. So, yeah, he's talking crazy talk. So, Idi Amin brought them out, but these niggas didn't know how to do shit. I need the Indians to come back. They already came back, Moran. They're already there. Hey, talking about? They already came back to Uganda. Fuck is you talking about? Come back. You want to blame everybody while you've been in power 40 years and you ain't done shit. 40 years you in power, you can't say why the electricity don't work. Why your people don't got jobs. Why shit don't work right. You talking about stuff. It's not me, my fault. It was the British. Motherfucker, the British. Didn't the British leave in 1960? This crazy bastards are talking about the British by Uganda's poor. Crazy as cat shit. Crazy as goddamn cat shit. Talking about the British.
For sure, why does he even blame the British now? He has been power for all before even we were born.
When you're born.
Boy, don't be blaming us.
He blamed everybody but him. He never blames himself. He did that, but he did that.
Remember now, the electricity issue. He sold the electricity to the British. the Uganda's electricity company is being owned by British. They're the
Oh
ones who
shit!
share. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Oh
for
my
them to say they are trying to improve the electricity supply, we are trying to modernize Uganda's electricity to the British level, bullshit stuff like that. But of recent, anyway, I heard they're going to terminate their contract because they have failed to deliver stuff like that. So I was just
duh,
saying that.
duh. You sitting there talking and the lights just go out. Yeah. You think you failed your contract? You think? They talking about Africans are so easy. Africans just accept shit that not to work right. Shit's about like when Katie and them were interviewing the guys in the streets. They said you guys have it hard. Things are hard. We said we know, but hell, we're supposed to be fucked up and poor. Let me share this video. Let me share this video. They met somebody out. They met the kids out in the street, but they were talking about it. Yes, let me show this. Let me share this. Let me share this shit real quick. It's hilarious. Let me share this. Let me share this. Which one is it? Huh? Yes, I think it's this. Okay, I think it's this one. Guys, give me a second. Let me share my screen. Let me know when you guys see my screen. Real quick,
Right.
let me share it. Only and I got to say, Donald Trump was right. Said only black people can live in poverty and don't do nothing about it. Donald Trump was right about that. He said only Africans can live in poverty and don't do nothing about it. Say it's normal to be poor and fucked up. Hey, it is normal. I'm poor and I'm fucked up. It's normal. No, not in the richest continent. You're not supposed to be poor. Shit, that's some moron telling you it's the British. What are you talking about? Uganda is one of the richest countries on the planet with resources, gold, fucking cobalt, goddamn uranium, all that shit in Uganda, and people are poor. Are you insane? If you don't get your ass out of power, you moron. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes, we do.
Let me see. Let me play look. These are the ones I put up on TikTok. Let's see here.
They said a very
Good job. Not sharing. Later. You know, it was 1 hour. What's this? It was 1 hour. Storage. Ndi ngenda nsoma kiri ki post kyange kyonadde nina ekyamagufa. I think we've lost Keith. Ngendera ku Facebook. I think we've lost Keith, by the way. We've lost Keith's connection. He wanted to share
Something.
something. Just go there for it's in there. Ngiyita Magufuli. Magufuli to posting. Then I'm search. Yes, come back. Just end. Yeah. Keith, we had lost you.
My 70 heard me talking shit about him. Fuck my power out. How dare you, nigga? Talk shit about me. And then everything went down. Everything went off for real. You heard me talking shit about him. But 70 heard me talking shit about him. And all my shit went crazy. But no, let me try this again.
All right, as you are sharing, as you are trying to share that, you know that for for the years Magufuli was a president of Tanzania. Of course, he made only 9 foreign trips, and he usually used to
Refused to
travel
go.
in economy class.
Yeah, remember, and also he refused. Remember, he showed these goofy niggas going to the Russian African Summit, the Japanese African Summit. Now you got one, the Saudi African Summit, the Chinese African Summit, the European African Summit. Magufuli didn't go to none of them. He didn't go to none of them. All these goofy niggas standing up there say the same thing. Can you give us some money? Can you loan us a bunch of money that we can steal? We ain't gonna get into our people. We're gonna steal it. But hey, Magufuli never went to none of that shit. When they were going to UN, he wouldn't go. I ain't going to that shit. Let these other dumb bastards go up there. He refused to be part of the system, Maria, because he wasn't a puppet. They couldn't summon him. Hey, you need to have your ass up here, nigga, and get these bad loans that we want to put your people in. Because everybody, if there's any book you guys need to read, it's called Confessions. It's called Confessions. This is a book every African needs to be able to read and understand what's going on on the continent. It's called Confessions of an Economic Hitman. To understand how they came to Africa after World War II, it's called the Bretton Woods Accords. They would give Africa loans knowing they wouldn't get out of it. They gave you bad loans. So that the bad loans will allow the IMF, the World Bank now take real African resources. Okay, you want to give us a loan? We want to own your power company. We want to own your water supply. We want to own this land. Because those loans were never meant for you to pay them back. They're all phony, they're all lies. And then if you didn't accept the loans, they said they called what Maria said, they would bring in the jackals. The jackals would say, okay, jackals would first come to your family and say, you know what? We already said we need you to take the loan. And you refuse to take the loan. So we might have to go up to you and your family. Now, you like your daughter? You like your son? Think you didn't think about signing that loan. Then if you didn't do that, the hitmen were now brought in to kill you. It's called the IMF, World Bank, and they're bringing the jackals to talk to you, try to tell you, hey, stupid, you understand what it's about? Sign the loan. You don't got a real military, especially if you're a puppet and we put you in power, like a Kagame and Museveni. They're gonna do everything that, like a Kagame and Museveni, they're gonna do everything that you'll do. So the jackals don't have to come in with Museveni and Kagame. They were put in power directly by the CIA and the Mossad. That's when Maria's asking, how the fuck does Israel got a diamond distribution so there's no diamond mines? Because that's the Mossad. Mossad is what? Israel. And what you heard? Who you hear talk about against the Mossad and Israel? Idi Amin. Isn't it funny when you didn't have a puppet in Uganda? Somebody who's a real president, told the truth, will tell you Israel is bad. They got the Mossad. They went and stole them people's land. They're wicked as shit. That's Idi Amin. Anybody can look up that speech still on YouTube. Idi Amin's telling you about what the Mossad's about and what Israel's about. He's about to tell me, say, hey, some wicked motherfuckers. They just went and stole people's land. Somebody they're the chosen people. These lies they tell. You know why? Because Idi Amin wasn't a moron like a Museveni. Hey, I don't know shit. It's in the Bible. It's in the Bible. He wasn't a moron. That's why Idi Amin is depicted as this wicked, evil person in their media. Because he was actually, hey, Uganda's going to be for black people and Africa's going to be for black people. He said, listen, these Indians got to go. The British brought them in here. They can leave with the British. These businesses are going into black people's hands. This is Africa. He's right. We can't go to India and have a whole bunch of businesses in India. So why the hell should the Indians be in Uganda and have a whole bunch of businesses here having black people on the bottom? What the British did was kept us stupid for 150 years. He's right. British kept us stupid. Now we know how to make shoes and all that shit. You got to be Indian. African is too dumb to know how to make shoes and make clothes. I mean, said, you crazy as cat shit. We're the beginnings of civilization. I'm glad he knew he was. We're the beginnings of civilization. See, you talk about a strong African man, not a coward. That's why they was all scared about Idi Amin has got to be ridiculed. He stepped on the scene and said, we're the beginnings of civilization. How the hell you tell us we don't know how to do nothing? We're not gonna be cowed. And hey, you call and say, hey, it's time to get rid of this nigga. This damn Idi Amin, we gotta get his ass out of there. Get this puppet. Yeah, we got this other puppet named 70. Some dumb nigga. We're gonna throw him in power. We're gonna put this dumb nigga in power. He ain't even these motherfuckers. He ain't even fucking Ugandan. He's from like South Rwanda.
And do you know, like, most of these African puppet leaders are with them trying to send their troops in countries to exploit minerals, all in the name we are rescuing, or probably we are trying to bring peace in those specific country. And we saw a scenario like in 2019 where we had a clone hit the parts of Mozambique and Tanzania, Zimbabwe.
A cyclone.
But we know in Zimbabwe and of course Mozambique, we did not see African leaders trying to aid.
Go help.
Because this is something. This is something that you don't need to send soldiers stuff. You need to show your solidarity.
How about that?
Magufuli laid an example. That is what
exactly. Magufuli
I'm sending relief aid from Tanzania to Mozambique.
In Zimbabwe. Yeah, he did. He went.
Man stood, and for him, he did not send soldiers or whatever. He sent materialistic things.
He sent food. He sent food and supplies, Maria. Food and supplies he sent. He's the only one that did it. He said, but this don't make any sense. We're African people. What the fuck? It's our job. He said it's our responsibility to do it. It's our responsibility to do it. And so he said, we're African people. We don't need the UN. These other people show up. It is irresponsible. It just makes us look bad. Like he said, he's right. How the hell we got African people suffering, then these puppets don't do nothing? You always got to need white people to come help you and do shit. So we're Africans. This is our responsibility to do it. I forgot all about them. Got you in mind because he's
Magufuli, and by the way, Magufuli, do you know Magufuli rejected the Chinese loans?
Loans. Yeah, he rejected all of them. He said he told only a drunk man. He said only a drunk man would sign these loans.
He refused the vaccines. He refused lockdowns. He refused the masks. Like apparently everything they are trying to impose, Magufuli said no. Chinese came around. He said, "I don't want your loans." Chinese were like, "How? This African man refused the goddamn loans which are being taken apparently by every African, leader, African country." Magufuli refused. And I know a lot of people wanted him dead because he rejected neocolonialism. He rejected that.
Exactly.
He removed the power. He gave the powers to the powers of minerals to the citizens of Tanzania. And nobody is taking minerals from Tanzania. There is no way we are giving a share to the Europeans. All the minerals is supposed to be, of course, it's supposed to be used here in Tanzania, and the Tanzanians are supposed to benefit from it.
No
matter what. And I think he was a threat actually to many. And
you think, he's a threat. Exactly. Everything you said, Maria, he's a threat. That's why
and then we saw Bobby Wine going that he's going to pay his goddamn respect.
That's why the African world loved him. That's why people were crying in Jamaica. People were crying in Brazil. People were crying in Colombia. African people around the world were crying when he got unalived. The love that poured out throughout the African diaspora because they knew he wasn't a puppet was palpable. Everybody, the love that was shown, because that's the hope for Africa and African people, that they would have control of themselves, and that you have a real leader, not despots, not a puppet put in by the Europeans to benefit them. Africa would actually get herself back. That's the promise. So that's the promise you see in Niger, Burkina Faso, and Mali right now. That's the promise where everything's changing. Like Setu think it's wrong to grow your own African hair. How can that be wrong? To be in Africa, grow your own fucking hair. You insane? But you rather have that fur with that lace popping out your shit.
Chichimba babusolo.
You know,
Wekula babusolo ku TikTok.
you have the right to be African. They made you not even want to be African. That's called self-hate. Taught you to hate yourself. Who taught you to hate yourself? Hate the color of your skin, kind of nose, the African nose we got. An African nose, African lips. Who taught you to hate that? African hair. Who taught you to hate your African hair? Taught you that. Damn sure wasn't you. Let me play this video about these guys. They talking about these funny guys poor. They're like, yeah, we're poor, so what? We like, you guys happy what's going on in Kenya? We're broke. Things are high. Yeah, it's okay. They lived in the slums. Where you guys live at? They named some kind of slum. You guys are happy living in that slum? Say, yeah, it's good. Damn. Yeah, it's good. It's all right.
He reduced the cabinet size from 30 to 19.
Let me know if you guys can see my screen.
Yeah.
Can you guys see my screen yet?
We are waiting.
Okay. I gotta do this. I gotta do this shit. Can you see it now?
No yet.
Damn. That's slow. Still can't see my screen yet?
Yes, we can.
Okay.
See.
All right. This the girl's talking about make this a little larger real quick. Hold on, give me this. Like that. Okay. Make it a little bigger. Here we go.
We asked them about the ID. They said it is okay. Pandishwa let us see how much. The quality or to the extent of the cost, they don't give a damn about how much the price of ID is. But when you look at these people, first and foremost, they're mechanics. They're very dirty. Their hands are really black. You can just see that this person is suffering. And then we ask you, are you comfortable with it? And then they're like, yes, we are very, very comfortable. Literally, this person you're the one that is asking questions. You look where where do you stay? I just Gataka. I'm like, oh, okay. And then Kathy asked them, so you stay in Gataka and you're okay? And we actually said, we are very okay. They asked us the next question. And then we asked them, are you proud to be Kenyan? Yes, I am proud to be Kenyan. Why are you proud? Because the economy has been raised. Wow. I'm like, so the economy being raised is something to be proud of. Why are you? Are we the same?
The reason that I even thought they were mad, do you know, after we were done with the questions, walituambia tafuta ingine. There are such kind of people in my life. You are living just zero pressure, That is sort of on that level, personally, what you're just discussing on the Pan-African Dad, such people will find that they have not only lost hope in life, but those are people, utapata, actually, the job they do, like basically, it doesn't affect them ID-wise. So watu unamwambia story ya utapata mtu labda ana ID, alipoteza kitambo sana, na yustui, kwa sababu anatoa mali anaenda, I require ID. The least amount atatoa kwa M-Pesa labda ni 1,000. Anaitisha ID wapi? Like, these are people who literally either have lost hope in life or either just don't give a damn about what is next there. They're like, there's no change. This is what we're meant to be. Like, if the cost of living is getting high, there's nothing we can do. We have to abide by it. So
why does I still wonder, why does raising of economy? And we also asked another young man. They said now that Mr. ID, let us just one ID for years.
wow.
I'm like, you haven't had your ID for years. All right, where have you been going? Have you been going to places? One said, I'm not even going to take an ID anymore. And then I was like, why? If a cops, I then asked him the way cops wanashika watu, because when I castrate people, they'll find themselves one day in problems or troubles. And I'm like, what if cops get you one day and then you need to show your ID? They say they're very comfortable. We asked them about the ID. They say that.
All right. I got to start editing you guys' videos too. It's the one that's edited with the platinum passport one. You know, oh yeah, it's the one right here too. It's funny. I gotta start editing.
Somebody say they don't need a passport because they are not planning to move away from Kenya.
Well, good luck to you, man. I want to move. I want to travel and not one better.
I'm not planning to get out of Kenya.
What shall we echo? Wewe una future, wewe una vision. But anyway, for me, I'll agree with this guy who said losing your ID or them rising actually.
See what's happening in Kenya right now, fam. It's called the New World Order. They're trying to put them in. They're trying to put them in these IDs that's going to lock everybody down. So that's something everybody needs to know that's going on. But those are edited videos I just edited for the shows to put on TikTok. I'm going to start editing Seto's and Maria's shows too to put on TikTok. Take their shows and edit them. That was the edited version. Damn, who the fuck is this? Hold on, guys. Somebody at my doorbell. I'm going to knock somebody's ass out. Do.
Of course, as we are waiting on Keith, of course, as we are waiting on Keith to come back, like I said, today's topic. Of course, I'm not going to give far-fetched examples. Apparently, I'm going to give recent examples. That's why I've been talking about Magufuli, and we all know Magufuli was murdered just of recent for a lot of positive things, for challenging the puppets of Africa, for challenging the Europeans, for challenging the Americans, for challenging the Chinese. Apparently, he challenged all the external pressures that usually is focused on Africa. Magufuli had laid an example that I feel that is going to be so hard for various African leaders, of course, to reach. He rejected like $10 billion loan, $10 billion loan from China. You know, like China itself offers. In Africa, it's a different thing. China offers loans to Africa, and I know a lot of African countries feel like, wow, if China is ready to give us these huge loans, most of them go in with, of course, not as in cash, but of course with the deals of improving infrastructures, constructing airports and stuff. But when Magufuli rejected the $10 billion offer,
Hey guys, I'll be back in a minute.
that claims that China wanted to, Magufuli challenged China and said, all right, you wanted to build the airport, that's why you wanted to give me the $10 billion loan, China. I'm going to prove to you that I'm going to construct the airport with the Tanzanian money, and an airport that costs more than $10 billion. Now, that is the challenge Magufuli laid to the Chinese now. Everybody was like, oh my God, because China had proposed to construct airport. So they were like,
Maria,
construct airport. Yes.
My groceries got delivered, so that's who rang my doorbell. I didn't have to go out and get no groceries, Maria. They came and delivered my shit, so I got to. All my groceries got delivered, so I got to put them. That was my doorbell. But go ahead.
If you have a Mzungu in the comment.
That's you guys. What do you want me to
That's
do?
a Mzungu for you.
I guess answer your question. I don't know.
Gravela Mzungu for Keith.
This is your live, Maria, not mine.
It's Gravela Mzungu.
Yeah, they're in your comments. And this you and Seto's live. Remember, I'm joining your This ain't my live. This is you guys live.
Gravela Mzungu for Keith.
This is you guys live. She wanted to show Seto. She wanted to show Seto her special. She wanted to show Seto her special beautiful blonde hair. I'll be back. Guys, give me a minute. Let me put this stuff up. Give me a minute.
So when Magufuli just came into power, he reduced the cabinet which was around like 30 to 19. You see, apparently most of the African leaders have tried to create, new, a lot of space for leadership. We have seen members of parliament being increased. We've seen cabinet ministers being increased. But Magufuli is saying now, why do we need all these party cabinets for? Why? I mean, you want to be paid salary, you want cars, you want, that, allowances. 30 people, Magufuli said, no, I'm reducing this to 19. And I can tell you, Tanzania made wonders with these 19 cabinets that, of course, he chose. Magufuli also banned government officials from foreign trips, and he abolished their tax exemptions. Like, Africa has issues like, now, since you are a government official, you're not going to be paying tax. Like, why shouldn't we pay tax? Why shouldn't the government officials in Africa pay tax? Like, are you so VIP? I mean, this tax, after all, is something that everybody should be paying. So Magufuli said that whichever thing you will be doing as an official in Tanzania, you are supposed to pay tax, just as those other Tanzanian people are doing. Apparently, now this, a lot of people had mixed feelings about this, to the point that some of them felt like this was a threat to his government. But Magufuli, of course, had to lay his bow straight, and these people agreed to what he had, of course, ordered. And we saw Tanzania grow. Its economy increased tremendously within the shortest time. Magufuli accused UK company Acacia Mining of illegal mining and ordered them to pay $193 billion for undervaluing Tanzania's gold exports. Now, over 250 containers of course, of theirs, that's of the UK company, Acacia, were seized at Dar es Salaam port. Who can do that? Which African puppet can do that? There were very many reasons why Magufuli was targeted. There are a lot of reasons that why Magufuli was actually killed. Which puppet can stand and say, we are seizing your containers that are taking gold out of our countries? We are seizing containers that are taking gold out of countries to whichever country you're going to. Magufuli did this. He, of course, seized like 250 there were over 250 containers that belong to the UK company Acacia. He seized them at the Dar es Salaam port. And of course, this raised the concern. This was a threat. Magufuli was challenging them, saying, Africa belongs to the Africans, Tanzania belongs to the Tanzanian. Magufuli did that. Tanzanian gold, of course, they paid over like $300 million and gave Tanzania 6% ownership in the 3 mines that the UK had. You and those groceries. So he said the only way you are taking this is for you to pay tax for these for the containers and whatever is in these containers. You're supposed to pay to give us, like, we are supposed to get at least a certain percentage from whatever you are mining. Magufuli also introduced free education in the government schools in 2016, of course, where we saw one of the Ghana's president say that he's constructing a school in Tanzania, free education. And he named it what? Museveni? Dude be joking all the time. But of course, he went to Tanzania after Magufuli introduced free education. Bro, that man. And he constructed a very huge school. And that's the president of Uganda. A very huge school in Tanzania supporting Magufuli's, you have introduced free education system. Anyway. Of course, Magufuli also acquired 6 Tanzanian planes, expanded Terminal 3 of Julius Nyerere International Airport. Now, all the things majorly, the airport was at the airport was something that the Chinese wanted to do for Magufuli with of course with the loan they had promised, the $10 billion loan that promised to give him. Of course, Chinese don't give you hard cash because they don't have it. Chinese don't have hard cash. For them, they come in the form of labor. They say, we are going to construct you, we are going to construct for you something, and of course, it's going to be worth like $10 billion, and of course, you'll be paying us in installments. And they come bring all their labor, all their slaves and prisoners with gonorrhea, syphilis, and all whatever. They bring them down here to start constructing. Magufuli said, is it that airport you want to construct for Tanzania? Chinese said, yes. He said, all right, I challenge you. I'm telling you this right now. I'm going to construct airports without getting any loan from anybody. People were like, nah, that can't happen. Magufuli can't do that. Either you're going to get loans from the US or you're going to get loans from UK. Magufuli said, I challenge you all. I'm going to make it happen and let everybody watch me do this. He did it. He did it. And the airport was even worth, it is beautiful. It is one of the best looking airports we have in East Africa. It was built in Tanzania with no loans whatsoever. So he challenged the Chinese, I guess. Yeah. And Magufuli also built, a Salenda bridge. That was a bridge, we always, Tanzania always had issues of floods whenever it could be a rainy season. Now, in that particular area, he decided to build a bridge. Now, all the things he's doing without loans. This one, they built a bridge here in Uganda. The Chinese built a bridge of what? How many loans? Now, even the bridge is about to fall. The lights that were there are no longer there. It's always dark. The thing looks ugly. And Uganda is still paying the loans. Now, you're still paying for the loans of something that is already getting spoiled. You see? So I think Magufuli, of course, laid an example to very many Africans, both the citizens and the leaders, both the Pan-Africanists and the puppets. He led an example to the point that he was always straightforward. He was always blaming these leaders straightforward. He told Kagame, like, you're doing shit like that. He said it. He told Museveni, what you're doing is not right. He said the same thing. He told everybody. He was not scared of anyone because for him, whatever he said, even if I die right now, I'm not regretting anything. Even if I die right now. And that's why I think Magufuli, deep inside, he knew he was being targeted. He knew because each time he had speeches, he usually said, even if you kill me, I'm still going to die by the truth. And I want to leave a legacy that is never going to be wiped. And I want to leave a legacy that is going to live forever. Now, Magufuli knew he was going to be killed. He knew it. Each time he had speeches, he usually spoke about this. He knew he was being targeted. Keith, you're from picking groceries. Why does your face look like that?
Look like what?
What did they do there?
Do what? No, but I was putting up groceries, Maria. I'm divorced. I don't got a wife now to put up groceries. I gotta put up groceries down, Maria. I don't have a choice. There's no woman to do it. I gotta put so. I don't do no shopping. I just, thank God I live in America. I just get on my app like this. But you guys, I get on my app, buy my groceries, and say I want my groceries to come at 12 o'clock noon. And they ring my bell and all my groceries. I just got to pull them up. I got to pull them up. But yeah, of course he knew he was going to be targeted to death because he was being a real African leader. Any African leader knows the history of Africa, like they know what happened to Thomas Sankara. Thomas Sankara said it caught up. I think this when I was a kid. Thomas Sankara caught up all the African puppets. He said, "Hey, you African puppets." It was in some kind of meeting again, or some kind of like summit. He said, "You African puppets. You all got clothes from Europe. You got shoes from England. You got shoes from here. You got stuff from here. This all stuff made in my country. I got shoes on from Burkina Faso. My shirt is Bikini Possible. This, why don't you make your own stuff so we can stop being slaves of the Europeans? And within a week, him giving that speech to all the other African puppets, they told him, boss, this nigga's not doing what you told him to do, boss. He's talking about bringing manufacturing to Africa. Within a week, he was dead. Boss, he's not doing what he's supposed to be doing, boss. So of course, Magapuli. Remember, Magapuli refused to eat out. He knew. See, shout out to Ibrahim Touré. He's learned. Why do you think Ibrahim Touré's got all them damn gloves and he wear a mask all the way up to his nose like this? Because they got certain things that somebody can touch you and kill you with. You can shake somebody's hand, they got some shit on it, and it see you back at home. Everybody say, "What's going on with you, baby? You having a heart attack?" That's what happened to Magapuli, because Magapuli knew that you don't eat out because you still got people in your country that you got spies. You know how many spies are running around Africa? Shit. You guys think it's just normal people sitting next to you on the bus or the tattoo or in the taxi? That's a spy. But you guys go ahead. Let me cook my eggs real quick.
All right.
Yes. So currently a lot is happening in Africa, and we see we ask ourselves, why is it that these people that try to come out with something that is helpful for Africans, that is helpful for their countries, they are the people that are being murdered day and night. People that fight out and say, you're from Africa, you're an African. Let's unite as Africans. We even know about some presidents that were organizing the United Empire of Africans. And the people, like the person who was spearheading the union of all African countries to be called the states. We know we know that these people have been killed. You know about this guy that was killed in 2011. The guy was spearheading a union for Africans. So very many heroes have been killed in mysterious deaths. And most of them actually, they have been killed and they have disappeared forever. However, they have not disappeared in the minds, in the hearts of Africans. Real Africans, not puppets.
True.
Even the puppets we have in Africa, they are now awakening up now. You find a president African puppet has spent over very many years in power and is seeing the trash, the shit that is being made by these monsters, the so-called monsters. Because who's they are seeing the shit at last. They have ate a lot of money from these people. They have signed a lot of contracts from these people that are worth billions of money. But at last they have seen that these people are traitors, these people are hypocrites, these people, they have no love for Africa. These people, they don't wish good for Africa.
True.
Rather than taking resources from Africa, causing confusion in Africa, making a lot of crimes in Africa, making sponsoring and supporting rebel groups in Africa. So a lot is going on in Africa and in the whole world. Whenever these people, they see someone trying to come out to be a president, to be and actually it's not all about being a president for these people to make you a puppet. We even see MPs, members of parliament in African countries, being puppets to these people.
Sure, that chain goes on and on.
That's why Magufuli in Tanzania had to scrap the very many MPs, members of parliament in Tanzania
from 30 to 19.
To a manageable number, so that can deliver to the people of Tanzania.
First of all, when you have a lot of these members in the cabinet, that means you're spending a lot. Apparently, you know what's going on in Uganda. We have very many MPs, over 200, over 500, something like that. It doesn't make sense. A country to have like 500 MPs. Let me first try and Google that and see how many MPs that Uganda have.
So we have a number of MPs, and actually that means the resources are going to be many, because these people are provided with over everything in their lives. Starting, even some people are even supported on the clothes, what to eat.
Yeah.
They are not paying taxes.
They don't pay rent.
They're driving government vehicles, and these are the taxes from the people of the government of that country. So it doesn't make sense when you have a lot and you spend a lot.
It has 557. It has 500. Like 557 members of parliament. A country like Uganda. 500. Tanzania is bigger. Uganda is just more like this, but I think Burundi is the smallest, and then comes Rwanda, and then Uganda. You know, Tanzania is bigger than Kenya. Tanzania has 2 Kenyas plus a half. Tanzania has like 4 Ugandans, according to its size. But Tanzania had 30. They never were cabinet. They were cabinet ministers. But the guy reduced from 30 to 19 cabinet ministers. Now Uganda has something like 559 MPs. Let me try and check the cabinet ministers.
I know they're more than that.
They are more than that.
So it doesn't make any sense for a country. And actually, that's because this man's agenda was to fight, of course, any foreign influence in Tanzania, to fight corruption. Because when you have big numbers in a government, of course, just expect corruption. So to fight that, he had to reduce
32.
That many.
It has 32 cabinet ministers and 15 ministers of state.
Making
50 ministers of state, and then 32.
Over 80 something.
That's over 80 something
ministers.
And everyone needs to be taken care of. They have to have cars. They have to have bodyguards, escorts.
I ask myself,
free
if
fuel.
these people they even have that privilege of, like, you must move out.
They travel
once in a month. You must be going out.
Once in a month
country.
you travel.
Now,
these are things that actually people should be addressing. These are things that people should be addressing. That's why Magufuli, ladies, was like, why should you have all those cabinets? Why do we have like 30? He scrubbed them to 19. He said, if people are paying taxes, you should also pay. First of all, you're receiving a high salary pay. So why are you dodging the tax? You need to pay this tax because you are being paid the salary. So why are you being exempted from this? He went ahead and also say he scrapped out, like they had apparently some queer and some queer, I call them like that because they're not necessary, privileges that they had. You have to travel, you have to travel, you have free trips. He said, I'm cutting that off. If you want to travel, use your money. There is no way Tanzania is going to pay for your trips, for your wife, your children, just because you are a minister or MP, whatever. So we are cutting that. If you want to travel, then travel. And he used the Africas. He supported Africa's business. There is no day he used the Emirates. You know, we have Emirates. It's one of the best airplanes in Africa that Africans use. So what did he do? He said, there is no way I'm going to use Emirates. I'm supporting which church? I'm supporting Uganda Airlines. I'm supporting Tanzania Airlines. I'm supporting Ethiopia Airlines. I'm supporting Kenya Airlines. He never used those other airlines that apparently a lot of African leaders prefer to use. So he was like trying to set an example. If we cannot use our own things as Africans, then I mean, how can we talk about development if we cannot support each other's business? Magufuli never for once did he use these other airlines that, of course, most Africans use. I mean, it's funny. We always be talking about issues like why should people wait when they are sick, then they start traveling to UK, the US. You are the very people who are constructing these hospitals for us. Magufuli, whenever he had any ailment, he would go to a usual hospital. He would go to a usual hospital. Everybody would know the president has entered the hospital. He's sick. He goes for treatment. Unlike other leaders, you just hear we are traveling to UK for treatment. We are going to
India for
we are going to
treatment.
India for treatment. Magufuli never did that until when he was very sick, and even they took him out of his own will.
And we are seeing that few African leaders they copied from the leagues of Magufuli. We see that like this man embraced that whatever belong to Africans. Of course, what is in Africa belongs for Africans. So you talked about the airplane, like him using or advising people to use even the state minister when they are going outside the country to use the Tanzanian airlines. So we see a lot of African countries by then starting to come up with airlines like in their countries. We're seeing the birth of Ugandan airlines. Within that time, Webagula, that's how they bought those aeroplanes. So just because of this man's legacy had brought, this man was too much by then. Whatever he was doing, whatever he was putting a hand on, it was moving. And it was a threat to these people because they saw that there is no way they are going to enter into Africa. Of course, Tanzania is near the coast. So whenever these people, most of them, wherever they steal from Africa, it normally passes through Tanzania and Kenya.
Through Tanzania, Kenya, and every other coastline, Mozambique.
Yeah.
They have the coastal area. So when they saw like Magufuli is so tough like that, he's so strict and principled that.
Yeah, he never allowed them. He said you can never use, if you're going to use whatever you're going to use to steal Africa, if you want to use Mombasa, there is no way you're going to use my ports for doing that bullshit. Man, he was confiscating some of them. He was confiscating some of their of course of their TNs. He was confiscating them until he was like, I have to get to know if if you have got this from Uganda, if Ugandans know you've taken whatever you're bringing over here, you could confiscate them. So all of them were like scared to pass now in Dar es Salaam, and they started using Mombasa. And during the days, of course, of Magufuli, Kenya gained a lot because all those people who were swindling minerals from Africa came and started using Mombasa.
They were going through Mombasa. Yeah.
He said, there is no way I'm going to allow you to do that. I'm not going to allow you. See, you take all these minerals from Africa, through my port. You rather go and use Mombasa. And they did. Bro was serious.
And these people, the way they partition the Africa, like you find like a certain country.
Yeah, but you gotta have groceries. Sorry, you gotta have groceries. Yeah, but you gotta eat as said to Maria. They went grocery shopping. You gotta have groceries. Damn jibba jabba. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm eating my eggs right now. Go ahead, Seto. Go ahead, Seto. You got it. I was answering Jibba Jabba's question. You guys know I'm not home till the weekend, so I order when I come home. I order on my little app here.
Wow.
So my groceries are coming. So my groceries will show up on Saturdays. I gotta leave out tomorrow. I gotta go out to West Texas tomorrow. So you got it. You go ahead, settle. You got it. You got it. Settle about it. She got a. She settle about it. Settle about it. Mzungu woman in here to give him that lice. I got. You want to know?
To give us license.
I got that lice, nigga. I'm here.
I think that is there. Gravella.
I think they froze. I gotta get ready to go live myself so they come back. Cause I fell asleep. I didn't do the show last night. I'm gonna go ahead and just do news and what's happening in the news at 2:00. Then come back over here at 9. Hope they heard. I gotta get things ready to go my damn self. See if Marina come back. Gotta do news updates. Yeah, so they gone. I gotta get shit ready to go. All right, turn my camera. It's the rule. It's the rule. It's rude to eat in front of people. I know you guys hear me. I'll see if they come back up, Jibber. See if they show back up. Looks like I'm buffering too. Let me see if their TikTok went down. Yeah. That's Joby. What the hell is she doing?
Quarter break a pound down. This rap if you happen to blow it, make surround sounds. Pussycat on my lap. That is too soon. Push the fucking pack off of the quarter break a pound down. This rap if you happen to blow it, make surround sounds. Pussycat on my lap. That is too.
So y'all looking at Joby on TikTok. I'm gonna wrap this up, family. And get ready to do my show at 2:00. Shit. 3:00. No. Much love, guys. And I'll see everybody in a little bit. Peace, y'all. Peace.